Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Let's see. It's time for the #1 place to get better at League of Legends. I am NEACE. And hope you guys like my new hat, man. How y'all doing today? Let's see what's going on in the League of Legends universe. Oh, this one's a pretty big one. Okay, finally. It's been pretty dull in the League of Legends universe, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had much to talk about in the news because I'm not really much of a pro scene follower. I mean, my comment section pointed out that the guy that I was watching play Nocturne, Pobe was Pobelter, didn't even care, didn't even notice. And it's not like a knock on him. He's clearly a good player. Just he's in the pro scene. I just don't give a fuck generally. But obviously I know who Faker is, and I watched the finals with you guys, and looks like the man's signing with T1 for 3 years. Speculation, the value of that fucking contract, dude, it has to be 3 years. This dude had to sign for like 20 million, right? Like, no bullshit. It had to be like a $20 million contract. Is that too much for esports? Would I be wrong? What would you sign for in his position? I feel like 20 million or no. This is business NEACE talking. In his position, to just play and to focus on nothing but performing, 20 million for 3 years. He will be playing for 3 more years, he will be 20. I am 20. Oh, I'm sorry, 20. I am 30. I'm gonna be 34 tomorrow. Like 500,000 a year max in LCS. Is it maxed like that in LCK though? I don't know. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. That's just, I legit have no idea. I don't follow this at all. Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'll be 34. When his contract ends, he will be 29. So he's one of the oldest guys playing the actual esports side of things. I hope this kind of stifles this bullshit about age too, because I don't think age has much to do with it. I really don't. There's some dudes older than me that play Halo 1, which is a really, really hard shooter. Like, really fucking hard shooter. It's almost like chess, speed chess. And there's some dudes older than me that destroy in Halo 1, like shit on everybody that goes to these like LANs. And I mean, they've been playing for a long time, and mechanically it's very hard to hang with them. And so I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced that age matters that much. Maybe in 40s. Like, I'm not, and like, same with me, like, I'm not convinced, like, what I'm playing right now, I'm not sitting here playing League thinking like, oh my god, mechanics are just the thing that's fucking me up so hard right now. Does that make sense? It's like, oh, I can't mechanically. I would imagine you could postpone the mandatory military service in his position. I would imagine, but I don't know. It's an interesting thought though, because like I've never felt like age was a big. When I was 23, I thought I was getting too old to play video games, and then I kept playing. I was like, wait, it doesn't matter at all. This is stupid. It's a stupid thing. Ageism in gaming is stupid. But yeah, so props to him. Nuguri retires. This guy's seen as one of the best top laners. And he's retiring. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the guy that did like the Monopoly Jace and Monopoly Vlad thing, and I've used that term before. I'm pretty sure he's the OG of that, which is basically back in the day you'd go kleptomancy. There's a rune that would just give you like gold for just auto attacking and shit. And like, yeah, basically he would just go like full scale, like kleptomancy, free boots, fucking call, everything. He would just get as much money on his champion as he possibly could without dying. But yeah, he's a great top laner. He's done playing. Too old. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna comment on the LS thing. I'll leave him alone. Pyosic Flame is a case study on why jungle isn't popular and not because clearing is hard. Oh, I think I looked into this. Someone in this thread, I looked at this last night. Someone in this thread had a really good point. I love this. Well, this interaction is great. First, the toxicity towards jungle is just plain ridiculous. It's not that hard to see the jungler isn't popular because of the flame. Dude is a literal world champion and still gets flamed because he missed a couple of smites. People claim he's bad during LCK. One tournament doesn't define him, but it is also the case with King and Inzeka. I don't remember a case... Oh, sorry, my phone is bugging. I don't remember a single DRX game bearing the 2 games where he missed smites, where arguably was even completely his fault with Kalista Rend, where Pyosic was gapped at all. He was keeping pace with GG and Owner, arguably gapped Peanut. The fact that DRX stayed pretty much even in the map. This is just the funniest. This is the funniest thing, and I agree with the poster. So what happens here is. This is the League of Legends community, by the way. Do you think that Pyosic is like crying himself to sleep at night? Do you think that anybody successful reads some shit like the guy is a world champ? Do you think he cares what people have to say about his smiting? Like, I just think it's so funny to me. There's something really funny to me about how people will like word salad and like tornado their way into any sort of like blame or criticism on somebody. Especially in his case where he actually won Worlds. And I love this interaction down here too. I honestly believe the pressure of smiting objectives is one of the main reasons people don't want to play jungle. You miss one smite and the target on your back abuse the rest of the game. Not wrong. I played jungle myself 10 years. This shit felt so stressful. Not in a fun way, in a frustrating way. This right here. Miss smite, flame the jungler. Die 1v1, flame the jungler. Poor farming, flame the jungler. Lose lane, flame the jungler. Get counter at draft, flame the jungler. Get carried by jungler and win, flame the jungler. This, I agree with. I agree with. It's just, I remember I just played yesterday. I played Hecarim, and I'm probably gonna play more jungle too. I'm gonna basically just queue mid and jungle, probably for the rest of preseason. I think for now, I think because I gotta climb to. I gotta try to get to Masters MMR before the season starts. Is kind of like my target at the moment. But I've seen from what I've been seeing in tests. Is like you can get invaded all game long by the enemy team. You can have no prio in any of your lanes, and you could just or enemy jungler could just like one camp, go red straight to bot lane, gank, bot lane dies to it, they flame you the rest of the game. It's just a straight up fucking. It's a straight up fucking blame jungle meta, and I mean I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I think at the same time, though, you have to understand that, like, when you are jungling, there is your whole responsibility in the game is resource allocation, right? So, like, most other, with the exception of support, everybody's kind of locked into their lanes, right? Which is why stuff that like hyper roams in mid is like really seen as really strong and wins a lot more. Imagine you've got these 5 like batches of resources, right? Well, jungle is allowed to push extra money into a lane at any point, right? Most roles can't really do that. This is also why I always highly rate globals in a solo queue environment. Same thing. I just think globals are just OP in a solo queue environment because like accounting for globals while you're trading and doing your shit is just really hard to do. Or even like wide range like ults like TF ult, Nocturne ult. I think they're really valuable. And I think that at the end of the day, it's jungler's responsibility to allocate resources properly. And so when you're stuck in your lane or a jungler decides to camp you or the game's just going to shit and you feel like you didn't really have much of an opportunity, you know that the jungler had some choices. And I think that's why people just default flame them. All right. Let's see what else in the world. Anything exciting? Pesante Penta. The first one? Probably not the first one. I don't see what items he has. I mean, this is just like a wallet check, isn't it? That was a pretty clunky pentakill, I'm not gonna lie to you. But props to you, my friend. What? Riot CEO says 2023's budget, the fuck posted this, for League will be the biggest of all time. I mean, I don't give a fuck what he says until I see some League of Legends 2. ARAM has some changes coming to PBE. Can I get a link on that? I haven't played ARAM. I mean, honestly, I don't have people to play with out here in Korea. And it's, I don't know. I don't really have time. I was playing a little bit before I moved. I was playing ARAMs a little bit. It's the first time, like first time ever for me. I would just play with friends. ARAM is actually not that bad of a friend game. I must admit. It's not that bad of a friend game. Like if you want to experience League without like the whole, like, bro, you fucking suck at the game, I don't want to play with you, ARAMs is the way to go. Because at least when you lose, you can just kind of laugh it off and you don't get too upset at your friends, you know? I'm peeking real quick on, see if I missed anything. 10 minutes. Let's see if there's anything exciting. What about Summoner School? Sometimes they have some posts. Which lane should I look to transition to after being a jungle main? Bro, these questions are so funny. Like, dude, just play whatever. Like, just fucking... People get decision paralysis on everything, don't they? Oh, is this the ARAM post? All right, let's look at this real quick. Omnivamp lifesteal against minions will be reduced. Changing long range damage. Currently damage dealt over 1,000 units away is reduced by 15%. We are further reducing the damage based on it. This reduction will now scale up between 15 to 30. This will more heavily nerf some of the super long range abilities that are too repeatable. As a reminder, the damage reduction does not affect ultimate abilities. Bonus magic resist from melee champions will be increased. In general, these effects are targeted to reduce to some of the more frustrating parts of ARAMs. ADCs will now no longer have an easy path to healing back to full from a wave clear, and the super long poke of your resident AP Kaiser will be blunted a little bit. That sounds fun. It makes sense. It's kind of lame playing dodgeball for 10 minutes just because of someone got a champ that you didn't, and it's like so punishing. All back to most team introduced specific stat modifier balance levels, like overall reduced damage that we could use to balance a massive roster of champions. These have been useful tools, but not all of our ARAM problem children are adequately balanced by these levels. For example, several assassins require huge damage buffs to remain viable, and multiple enchanters characters need their healing spells efficacy reduced. So rather than scrapping the system that was working for most of the cast, we decided to expand our tools a little more nuanced to balancing these champions. So below our specific champion balance changes will be shipping. Resource regen. Targeted enemy using champions. Management of energy is intended to be quick to use for quick engages and escapes, but in ARAMs the fight never stops. In order to make these characters patterns a little bit more accessible, friendly, we're adding the following champions gain bonus energy regen ARAM. Okay. Tenacity ARAM's a bad time if you die to a single CC spell. We'll be giving some of our squishier melee characters some bonus tenacity so they can shrug off CC a little better. Ability haste. Only one entry this time from our favorite arrow spamming for Lordy and Ash. Her ability to build Imperial Mandate and simply spam volley to slow a whole team has meant she hasn't reacted. much when we nerf her damage. We're nerfing her ability haste specifically to reduce how often. I mean, all that actually makes sense to me. Every single thing here makes sense. Like, cause I played it for like a month or so before I moved, and all this stuff. I was gonna say Ash is probably like the strongest pick in that mode. Howling Abyss, X Tech update. Oh, that's cool. Get you back in the action faster. Falling towers. If you've ever peeked in the depths maps, you'll notice that the occasional chunk of bridge falling off. Rowdy visitors fighting atop. Well, the bridge isn't getting any younger or sturdier, and the towers are beginning to show their age. With this update, whenever towers are destroyed, they collapse and leave behind a pile of rubble, which will be treated as new terrain. Our goal with the falling towers is to create more interesting situations on the map that break away from the usual straight line of ARM. Now you have new choke points to think about, terrain you can experiment with. That's cool. Caretaker's Howling Abyss picked up gardening. Despite our difficulties in raising plants, they have one brand new brush to show for their work, and they managed to grow a pixel brush between the towers a little bit. Smart. All of this is smart. All this is smart. You can tell that the updates, the guys that are running the ARAM team really like ARAM and just want to make it a little bit more fresh. And I agree with all these changes. I mean, there's literally nothing in here that, to me, I'm like rolling my eyes at. Because I played the mode. I played it. Now, all this stuff totally tracks. Like, Ash, just, for example, just being broken. The map being very dull. You just run in a straight line. Your only place to sit in a bush and hope the enemy team is dumb enough to not throw an ability into it. It was very binary, which I suppose, if I'm being honest, binary is kind of the point, but it is nice to see a little mix up. Cool. What else we got here? Which lane should I look to transition to after being a jungle main? Honestly, if anybody gives a shit about my opinion on this, just go to top lane. Go to top lane and experience what you've been putting your fucking top laners through. That's my advice. Go to top lane and sit up there and learn what it's like. How are you supposed to gank a lane with an enemy being Mordekaiser? Bro, for real, you don't have to. How to play a losing jungle matchup. Literally just path the opposite way. What I'm supposed to do is an ADC when there's a support diff. Drop your tower and freeze. Solo Baron like a Challenger Season 13 jungle rework. In this video, I showcase how easy it is to take Baron right when it spawns. League boosting. 1. Alright, fine. You clickbaited me. Fine. I'm curious. Cool ad. Alright,
is the pets. With these pets, Riot casually allowed every single jungler to solo Baron at 2 to 3 items at 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, fine. Your little tip has I didn't know this, and I don't think Phalaris even mentioned this, actually. Maybe Phalaris knew this?
Let's talk about Season 13 jungle changes. So far, the biggest change to the jungle is the pets. With these pets, Riot casually allowed every single jungler to solo Baron at 2 to 3 items at 20 minutes. In these first few clips, you'll see me soloing Baron from Udyr to Elise to Kha'Zix, which 2 of these champions have never been able to even close to soloing Baron before. The best part of all this is you don't need any kind of special build, just 2 to 3 items, level 13, and a completed jungle item. You don't need any guides or help, just a pink ward and be at Baron when it spawns. We even asked our top coach to test how it is in D1 Plus to show us even high elo players don't expect this.
I mean, Bel'Veth could already kind of like do Baron quickly, right? She could solo it before. Right?
So there's obviously... Is it really not worded? Oh, let me check this.
He has 2.5 items. He smites once for speed. I feel like junglers that had already figured this out probably were getting quick wins too. That's no joke. Good video, guys. I can dig it. I can dig it. Good video. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that, and I mean, I would assume Phalaris knew that, but he hadn't said anything to me about it. That's interesting. I would like to know if that works with Hecarim. I'll have to test that after. Remind me to test that after I coach. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, guys? Actually, now that we've just seen that, do you think that's appropriate for the game or not? Do you think that puts too much power on junglers? That feels like something that puts a lot... Well... Is that fair or no? I actually have... I don't know what I believe yet. I don't know what I believe. Yeah, I think I like the idea of some champions being able to solo Baron and some can't. I think that's better for the game. Yeah, I would imagine Nocturne wouldn't have an issue with it. 2.5, 3 items. Nocturne should be able to do it in theory. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I'll try, out of curiosity, I'll try a couple with Hecarim and Nocturne and see if it works. It was about like level 13, level 14 in his in that guy's clips, right?